Welcome you all. In this video, we are going to see about Spring Boot Web MVC demo part 2. To make this clear, we are going to do with the last 2 points of experiment 7. The last 2 point is to add the customer and view the customer through the Spring Boot application. Let me create a class called customer with some variables, and then I will pass the value to that class. For example, ID and name of the customer, so that I can add in a list in add customer. Then I can display the same list in view customer. I will do this all interaction with Spring Boot IDE and the Postman app. The Postman app is to send the request and receive the response. You can ask me, in the previous experiment, we just sent the request from the browser window. Now, why we need to use the Postman app? The browser window request, which we sent previously, is the get mapping, which is the RESTful service. For example, demo 8 localhost colon 8081 slash demo 8 is the get mapping, which is triggered from the browser window. The same demo 8 can be triggered as a post mapping too. The URL is same, but one is triggered as get mapping, the other one is triggered as post mapping. For this two, you can have two different functions in your IDE which will send the output. So I'm going to demonstrate the post mapping to you now, which I cannot trigger from the browser URL. That's why I'm using the post mapping. Either I can use slash demo 8 or else I can use the different URL too. Now let me create a new function in my app controller class. Just I will copy this function and I will say demo 8, and then here I will remove the string. Sorry, here I will remove that path variable and let me have string user. Instead of string user, I can have user space user. User is the class and the second user is the object. And very simply, I can say here list space L equal to, I need to import the list. So I'm importing from util package and I'm saying the generic data type as user class list space L equal to new array list, and this L dot add, I will say user object. So I will add the user which I received in the list. Then I will say user added. This user added will be returned as the output to the called place. If it is a browser, then it will return to the browser. If it is a postman, it will return to the postman. And most importantly, I'm going to use here as the post mapping as in the question. So you need to insert the post mapping annotation and import it. You can use control space by Just moving your mouse to the last letter and use control space and pick it, it will import in the top and then the error gone. So now you can able to see the post mapping is import from the top and now the error gone. So post mapping of demo 8. I can have the same URL or else different URL too. Let me have the same URL. Now the problem is what is this user class? Okay. Are you having user class here? Is it imported in the top? No. Actually, it is imported, but it imported in the wrong place. I want the user class to be my own defined class, but it is importing from the predefined package. Now, if you remove the import, definitely here the user will get the error because it is not imported. Let me create the user class. Under com.klu, I will right click new class. Class name is user. Now the user class got created. Now I will just make two variables in the class int id and then string name. For this two variable, I have to create setter getter method to set the value and to get the value. How to do that is just right click inside the class after the variable and go to source, generate getters and setters, select all the variable and generate the getters and setters, and it is generated. And similarly, I want to create a toString method also. Right click the open space inside the class and go to source, generate toString. Just click on generate. It will generate the toString method too. Now the variable getter setter and then the toString method is ready. Okay, that means the class is ready. Let me go to the app controller. Now you can able to see the user class having no error here. But how I'm receiving the value is the question mark. Previously, I had used at the rate path variable. This path variable is for flower brace of ID, flower brace of AB in the path, URL path. Okay, then I also used path param. This path param is for question mark based parameter, which is coming in the URL path. Once again, in the URL path. So both the values are coming in the URL path. That's why it is having path param, path variable like that. Now, the value which I'm going to pass is not going to be in the URL. It will be in the request body. What I'm receiving is the request. Okay. This is a server. What I'm receiving is the request. So in the request body part will have the data. How to do that? How to receive that here? You have to say request body annotation. Then request body will be assigned to this user. How it will be assigned? You have to pass it in a JSON format. Exactly what is available in the user ID and name. These two values should be passed in the JSON format. Now I will just try to execute this in the Postman. I will open Postman. This you have to install. Suppose if you are not having Postman, you can download from Google and you have to sign in, then it will work. Now I'm just opening the Postman. See, it is asking me to sign in with my Google account. I will do sign in. I think I have to sign in. So I'm just copying the URL. Here I will use sign in with Google. It is got signed in. I'm opening the Postman app once again. The app came here. It is opening. Now it is opened. You can able to click on this plus symbol here, create new collection, and then REST API basics, and then click on get method. That means get data here. You can able to get some example. Now, what we actually required is the post request, because in the question we had the post mapping, and here in the ID also I use the post mapping of demo 8. That means I have to send the post request. I will click on post data. See here, it is post method. Then what is the URL I have to send? Local host colon 8081 is the port I'm running, slash. I had said demo 8. So I need to give demo 8. Once I given, this is the URL I given, but what about this request body? I need to pass the values now. Now one more thing I have to do, the function name. Previously it is function 8, now also function 8. So I'll just change the function name to function 9 here. I will save it. Okay, now I need to receive the request body, right? So to do that, I will go to Postman. Then I will click on body part. Okay, this is the body part of the request. Then I will click on a raw format, and which is JSON. Okay, now I need to give the JSON value. In place of name, I will just type ID, which should be similar to this user class variables ID and name. ID should be integer, name should be string. Okay, that also important. Now I will just give ID as integer. So I will remove the double quotes and I will say 1, comma, and second one, name as a string. Name I will say first student. Now it is exactly matching the values. Post method localhost colon 8081 slash demo 8 will actually trigger this function 9, and whatever I'm passing in Postman will receive to this user. That user I'm adding in the list. Then I'm just saying user added as the response. Now I'm going to send this request. Send. You will get user added here. That is the response. Now let me proceed for the next point. In the next point, you should have a view customer mapping. Okay. In the view customer mapping, it is actually get mapping of view customer. Okay. It should return the list which is added. Let me add two values. Okay. Before doing that one, I'm just giving ID as 2 and name as second student. Let me send once again. It is saying user added. That is fine. Now I will return a list. I'll just copy this function 9 and I will paste it. I will have same demo 8. Okay, but this time get mapping. Okay, just import the get mapping as well. Now see, post mapping also slash demo 8, get mapping also slash demo 8, but it will trigger two different functions. That will trigger function 9, this will trigger function 10. Okay, no input parameter required. Okay, the return type is going to be the list. Okay, I should import it. List of user object. And instead of I'm adding, I'm just going to return the L, which is the list. Now, from the Postman, I can just change this method to get. Okay. Now body part doesn't matter. I'm just sending localhost colon 8081 slash demo 8. I'm just going to send it. You can able to see the list is empty here. Okay, the list is empty because of we have restarted the Spring Boot application while saving. When we save it, the application will automatically get restarted. So what we will do, we will just insert to data now. I'm going to post value, post mapping, localhost colon 8081 slash demo 8. I will insert second first. I had made this user data, that means user added. After insertion of list, I will just add it. Now user added coming. I will just make it to 1 also. First student. This data also added. Now instead of post, I will change it to get mapping. Same URL. I will send the request. I will get the data in the list. The same date URL can be triggered from the browser as well because it is get mapping. All get mapping can be triggered from the browser. So in the browser also you will get the data. But post mapping you can only trigger from the Postman app, right? Now, I hope so you had understood this experiment 7 fully. Okay, it is a two-part video and thank you.